name is Darlene, and I have Parkinson's. Today is Try It Thursday. I have tried eating this product before, never tried making it, but I'm decided I'm going to try it today. So I'm going to make small pearl tapioca. It's not the instant tapioca. It's little tiny balls, but it's bigger than the ones. These are ones that they would maybe use in bubble tea. So the first thing I have to do is I have to soak them. I'm going to be using half a cup. So I have to soak the half a cup of pearl tapioca for 1 hour in cold water. So I'm going to go do that, and then I'll come back and we'll talk more then. And we're back. Okay, in my large pot here, I have the tapioca that I soaked. I then drained it. I put it in there. I have 3 cups of whole milk. I actually have coffee cream. I have 1.5 cups of coffee cream, and then I have 2% for the other, make it 3 cups. And 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So now this is where it gets interesting. Now I'll just show you this here. Okay. I'm going to show you here. You can't even see those little bubbles in there until you lift them up. When you lift them up, you see they're just like, oh, you can't see that. I'm turning around here. See, they're just little balls. Okay, so now I'm going to let that cook, but here's what it says. It says about that very low heat. It says cook on medium-high, so I guess I should turn it on. Medium-high. Okay, so it says cook on medium-high. Stir while bringing the mixture barely to a simmer. So we got it on medium-high, but we're going to go barely to a simmer. As soon as it hits that barely on a simmer, then we lower the heat and cook it uncovered at the lowest heat possible, adding 1/2 cup of sugar very gradually until the pearls are plump and thickened. Okay, so we want the plump and thickened, and they said that can take between 5 and 45 minutes, just depending on what who's made your pearls. From 5 to 45 minutes, cooking over very low heat. Stir occasionally to prevent it from sticking, and then we'll do the next part. So this has got to cook for a while. I'm going to tell a story. I've got something in the oven too. Okay, so I'm doing an experiment in the oven. What I'm experimenting with is the recipe that my brother wants me to do for a pass or fail. Is one of Mom's recipes. And we have to do a bit of figuring out because we don't have the actual recipe. So we're trying to do it from memory. I tried phoning my auntie. She didn't know what I was talking about. And so we're just trying a few things right now, experimenting, so I find the right thing. So Bill's going to be eating meatloaf for a week. Okay. I'm going to tell a story. It's just put me in a very flattering light. But most stories that involve me don't put me in a very flattering light. So I was out visiting in Abbotsford. My mom was not well. I was out there for a year, and that's in British Columbia, and my husband was in Nova Scotia. So I only went home just for a couple times during the year. It was a very tough year on us all. He had to be by himself. I was by myself out there with Mom. We were going through stressful times, and it was just very hard. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate having that time with my mom. And so anyway, I wish now I had paid more attention when I was younger to learn the things that she knew, because she was very smart. She knew a lot of things in the kitchen, and I didn't pay enough attention. But anyway, okay, this is starting to... Turn this down, because it said turn it down, because it said barely to a simmer. All right. Took a little bit longer. So anyway, Gary and I got to do a whole bunch of great things. I really had a good visit with him because I was there for so long. And you form a different relationship with your siblings when you're an adult. And so therefore, I feel like Gary and I are quite close now. So anyway, we went out to a superstore. We were in the parking lot. He had a habit of, because he knew I was always trying to lose weight, so he had a habit of parking way the heck and gone at the other end of the parking lot, so we had to walk a long way just to get into the store. So anyway, he did the same thing. He went all the way out there, and I said to him, "Stop for a minute. Stop." He said, "What?" And I said, "I've got a bum thumb." He goes, "You got what?" I said, "I've got a bum thumb. You've got to stop walking so fast." He goes, "What is a bum thumb going to do?" I said, "Take a look here." I said, "Look at that." I said, I've got a bum thumb." Well, he took to laughing at my little bum on my thumb. He took to laughing, which, of course, what does that do to a woman? She decides that she's going to laugh too. Well, so I decided I was going to laugh. Well, I hadn't found a washroom for a while. Yeah, that's what happened in a parking lot. I peed my pants. Then I said to Gary, Austin got laughing. I said, "Gary, we've got to go home now." He goes, "We haven't shopped yet." I said, "Gary, I peed my pants." And he said, "You peed your pants?" I said, "Yes, I did." I said, he goes, "You're not sitting in my vehicle like that." I said, "Yes, I am." He goes, "No, you're not. Get a plastic bag." I said, "I don't have a plastic bag." He says, "Go in the store and buy a 3-cent plastic bag and put it on the seat. You're not sitting on my seat if you peed your pants." Couldn't believe it. I had to go in and buy a bag to sit in his chair in his car. I'll tell you. Anyway, my bum thumb and peeing in the parking lot. That's kind of the way my life goes sometimes. I've done the giggling thing for quite a while. It even happened when I was in high school. Like, I just never had good bladder control. And so when I was in high school, I went with a girlfriend down to Stanley Park. Stanley Park, huge park in Vancouver, right? We took the bus down and all the rest of it. It was great. Then we decided that we were, I have to stop for just a minute. My lips are sticking together. Can you tell that? They're sticking together. I'm so thirsty. I'll be right back. That's crazy. I'm back. Okay, so this is still cooking. We went down to Stanley Park. We decided to rent a bicycle for 2 and use that to tour around the park. So we were tooling around, and as 2 young girls will do, we got to laughing, and both of us peed our pants. So then we had to find a washroom. We went in and found a washroom, and I went first into the stall, put my wet trousers off, took my wet panties off, put my wet trousers back on, took my panties out, and in front of the hand dryer, stood there and dried my panties. Went back into the thing, put my panties on, took my wet pants off, went out and dried them in front of the hand dryer. And then she did the same thing. Can you imagine everybody that came into that place saw us standing there, drying our clothing, our panties and our pants. But what were we going to do? It was a long time till the bus was going to be coming to get us back home. We didn't live anywhere near the vicinity. So that's crazy. Now, today we had a barbecue downstairs. And, well, it's not really today. I'm doing this on a different day than but anyway, on today, we had a barbecue downstairs. And they're playing music and stuff. And Bill's down doing that. And I was talking to a fellow when I was down there. And I asked him if he liked tapioca, and he said, yes, he did. I said, oh, good. I'm going to try it this afternoon. If it turns out, I'll get Bill to bring you some. So, now see, it's just barely coming there. Now it's just starting. So now, they said go to the lowest temperature that you can. So you can see here, let me turn you around. I've got you, right here it says simmer low. It's very low. So that's where it is. Okay, so we're cooking 5 to 45 minutes until they are plump and thickened. Well, they're getting plumper. Alexa, stop. Okay, now, the other thing I'm doing is I'm sitting on a chair that has wheels that turn like a computer chair, and it rolls. So Claudine said it's very dangerous because the way I am, it's very dangerous. So what did I do? We put the non-slip stuff around the legs of it, and now I can't move the chair, and I'm getting stuck in it. Let's see if you can see it. don't know if you can see these legs, but now I can't hardly move them. Okay, let me take this one over the oven. Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Oh, see, this isn't going to work here because now I can see that they're coming off now. See, what I did was we got this non-slip shelf liner, and then we got some zip ties, put this around the rolling legs, and tried to put that on so that it wouldn't roll away. Anyway, I'll bring it back up here. We'll take a look at this. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is keeping an eye on this. It's not going to take 45 minutes, I can tell that. That's going to be good. So the next thing we would do, it says beat 2 eggs. So I've got 2 eggs in this bowl, right there. And I'm not very good at beating. Oh, you know what? I don't do that. I'm supposed to stream this gradually at the lowest possible, adding a half a cup of sugar very gradually until. Okay, so I gotta be doing this too. So. All right, so we're gonna start adding that gradually. All right. On the back of the seed pouch one, or the pearl seed ones, they have a recipe for a tropical version of this. It's got coconut and mango. Okay, so that we'll leave those eggs like that because we have to temper those eggs when it comes time. Tempering means we'll take some of the hot liquid into the eggs and then we'll put the eggs back so that they don't scramble. All right. My mom used to make tapioca a lot, but she made it with the minute tapioca. It's the instant type. And I wanted to try it with this fancier one because I thought it would look really pretty. So I hope it tastes good. You know, families, they have traditions and things that they learn from their parents and from relatives and stuff. And I think that those are the things that give you memories for the rest of your life. And it's funny, every family does it differently. And even your own kids, they were raised with your traditions. And yet they'll turn around and when they've got their families, they start their own traditions. And then when we moved away to Nova Scotia, Claudine and Khalidin, they were adults, but they made their own traditions. They started doing a thing on Christmas where they had a chocolate fondue in the afternoon. And they've been doing that for years, but now we're back and they didn't do that chocolate fondue this last year. But it's like they just make their own traditions, and I think that's very important. Okay, we'll let that cook for just a couple more minutes and we'll be right back. Alrighty. Let's see. We are now at about 40 minutes with cooking. So I thought that it wasn't going to take that long, but it is going to take the full amount of time. Stir occasionally to stop it from sticking. That's what I'm doing. Put 2 large eggs in a separate bowl. Whisk in slowly some of the hot mixture to temperature the eggs. Okay, so let's get a in here. So we want to put some of the hot liquid in. And that way and we're going to temper these eggs so they're not going to scramble on us. That certainly wouldn't be a pretty picture. All right. So now temper the eggs. Slowly add the tempered eggs back into the pot and increase the heat to medium. Increase the heat to medium. Okay. So slowly add this back and then increase the heat to medium. So we're going to go up to medium and we're going to slowly add these in. This would be where, if you were going to make scrambled eggs, you'd be doing it now. So if I'm going to make a failure, this is going to be where it's going to be. So let's hope it's not. All right. Okay. You see what's going on there? Okay. So, said put that up to medium. Okay, so now let's keep that stirring while I figure this out. I like cooking things that I've never cooked before. It's fun to figure out the recipe. Okay, slowly add the tempered eggs into the pot. Increase the heat to medium. Stir for several minutes until you have a thick pudding consistency. Do not let it boil. Cool for 15 minutes and stir in 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, do not let it boil. Okay. Well, I'd say it is a thick consistency now. I'll show you. It's pretty thick there, but we'll let it go just a little bit more. And you don't want to cook your vanilla, so that's why it's going in at the end. Oh, I like that. Don't let it boil though. So I think I'm going to turn it off because it is getting thick. All right. Okay, that's thick. I'm going to take it off the heat and I'm going to let it cool for 15 minutes and we'll see what's happening then. All right, we're back. All right, so I'm back at the table. I'll just a little bit. Okay, so we've got our tapioca here. It's now nice and thick. It's cooled for 15 minutes. Now it says to add a teaspoon of vanilla. Now I don't measure my vanilla because I like things that are vanilla to be very vanilla. So I'm going to probably put a tablespoon in. Just a little glug. All right. And we'll just measure that like that. Or stir that like this. And then it'll have to completely cool in the bowls. This is going to be delicious, I think. So I'm going to take a little tiny taste of it and then I'm going to go get the scooper. That's going to be delicious. Let me get my scooper. This chair is going to drive me crazy until I fix it. Okay. Okay. Now, I have 3 little dishes like this and 1 square one. And we'll see how far that goes. Alright. Then we're going to let it cool and then we'll take it to our friends. Okay. There's one. I didn't make as bad of a mess today as I usually do. So that's good. It actually took a little bit longer than I thought it would to make tapioca, but it's likely very, very good when it's cold. I think that I'm looking forward to that. Okay, making more of a mess trying to scoop it in the bowls than it was. Okay, there's the round ones. I might have even get an extra square one too. Let's see. I'm going to have enough to one more square one. You get that little square one? I'll do that off camera because you've seen me scoop it. I'm going to put them in the fridge, let them cool. This says serve warm or cold. I'm going to serve mine cold. This was Try It Thursday. I think this is a definite success, and I'm looking forward to trying it. Okay, see you all tomorrow.